Good afternoon, Rob.
Good afternoon, Michelle.
Here we have the estimation and rounding task cards. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is one of those topics, concepts that traditional Montessori really didn't cover, as far as having a a set material, a set way of showing children this in any kind of concrete way. We do estimating and rounding certainly when we're talking about decimal numbers, but we all know that whether it is Common Core, whether it's just trends in education, that things like estimating and rounding are something that's clear that our children need to know. So these are task cards that are going to reinforce and give children a way of understanding what estimation and rounding is. But they were also written specifically for a Montessori classroom. So as a task card, sometimes known as command cards, we want to make sure that this is following a presentation that you're giving. So you're never just saying like, oh yeah, it's time for you to do estimation, just go over there and do the card. So we want to make sure that there's still, it's not replacing that very real relationship between the teacher and student. I'm going to give you, this is what it looks like. But for either children that either need that structure of having cards, or ones that just enjoy the quantified, being like, I got through all of these cards, task cards can be a great independent shelf work. So I can work on it alone, I can work on it with a friend. There's lots of language involved here, so I'm getting to see that. In some cases I'm writing the answer out also in a sentence. And so we use these, it's one set, but it's kind of cut into a couple of different sections. And as often, moving left to right, or from front to back, it's going to gain in complexity. So our first ones are going to be rounding to the nearest whole number. So lots and lots of examples, lots of chances for the children to round to the nearest whole number. And again, like I said, the answer's on the back. The second set here ratchets it up a little bit, a notch, gives it a little bit more, it's a little bit more complex, a little bit more of a challenge. It says, lay out the number on the checkerboard. And this is where you're taking something that is maybe a traditional type of concept that we don't have a lot of materials, that says like, okay, well, we can use a Montessori material that the child's already familiar with. It's going to be a great review of both of the concept that you're talking about, but it's also on a familiar material. And then, as always, that third period of any concept, and we've got lots of them here, is how do we apply this? And so how do we use estimation? How do we use rounding in our real lives? And so here you've got in some cases cards that are specific towards, like, the children or the people that are involved in it are in a Montessori classroom, and really applying these concepts in problem solving. So how do we use that in sort of, gives it sort of like a real life angle. So a great way of having on your shelf independent work that's going to cover something that might in normal cases could maybe fall through the cracks in your curriculum. This way you're making sure that you're covering it.
Okay, thank you so much.